Yeah, I think it's good the way that the schedule worked out this year. First time I've been around where we were able to give them a couple of days off and come back. And when you've been through, I think 17 days of fall camp, everybody's got something that's sore, hamstrings or something like that. So I think they felt better out here today, just kind of getting back and getting in the rhythm. And this is a very important week as we kind of finish up camp.
Go ahead. After watching some of the film from the scrimmages that you had last week, anything new stick out to you?
No. I mean, I think for us overall, it's a lot of people that are playing. So, I feel very confident our first group, really just about in all three scrimmages, has done very well. It's had better tempo and better execution. Really our biggest challenge is for that next group behind them to really step up so that there's not a drop off. Coach Sweeney purposely made, the second offense go against the first defense. So it was a pretty big challenge for those guys. And they made some plays, but also got exposed a few times. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing is just coaching up that second group, being able to go in and not have the standard of our offense change.
Your wide receiver group in particular is really starting to build a lot of depth there. How do you plan on getting those guys snaps this year?
Yeah, I think we've had that issue for a couple of years, and it's a good problem to have. It's really good, and it can be a problem. I think overall, the best thing that helps us is really the culture that Coach Sweeney's created within the program, that it's not about any one person. I mean, there is absolutely zero entitlement in our program, from coaches down to players, quarterbacks, all the way through. And Coach Sweeney does a great job of really stamping that out from the very beginning, actually before they ever get here. The presentations he shows them in the recruiting process, he makes them know very quickly that you're going to have to earn everything that you get. So there's already that mentality. And then the other side of that is Coach also has a culture where we're going to play a lot of guys. And if you deserve to play, you're going to get an opportunity to play. Doesn't mean you're going to play the same amount as that first guy, but you're going to get an opportunity to play. And then what you do with that opportunity really dictates, that next game, how many plays you get. And so for us, I think we're a talented group, and my big challenge to this group of wideouts, we really only have one starter coming back in Renfro. So my challenge to the wideouts is going from a group of potential to a group of production, and that's really kind of what we've been talking about all fall camp. I like the way that our guys have progressed. I mean, we got a strong challenge every day versus the corners and secondary that they face. And, we've won some battles, and then whenever we haven't been ready, we've lost some battles. But overall, I'm pleased where we are. But really that next step is they got to go out in the field and do it. And I'm optimistic that they will be able to.
Chris, how important is it to have an alpha dog of the receiving corps? And who is that guy?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, I think whenever I talk to the wideouts, I always, I'm not trying to compare them to the guys that were here beforehand. I want T. Higgins to be the very best version of T. Higgins. I don't want T. Higgins to try to be DeAndre Hopkins or Mike Williams. I want him just to worry about being the best version of himself. But within that, I also am always sharing the characteristics of the best that have come through. And with us playing wide receivers, and one of those is a guy that physically, mentally can go and play. You look at the play that Mike Williams made in the preseason game, this past weekend. I remember seeing him making those plays, his redshirt junior year. He didn't always make those plays his sophomore year. There's a transition and transformation that has to take place in really becoming more physical. And I think that's kind of where T is. That's where, DeAndre Overton is. And I think they're ready to kind of take that next step. But to be kind of that alpha dog, you gotta have the confidence, and also you gotta go out there and be the guy. I think right now they're trying to go out there and be that starter. And I think once they get out there and start playing and get their confidence going, they'll have that opportunity. But I think we have a lot of guys that have that potential. Amari Rogers is a guy that's just a very hard worker, physical kid, has the right mentality, and that's definitely what we're progressing to. But I wouldn't say that we're there right now.
Coach Sweeney was saying it's getting pretty close as far as the depth chart being ready to be released. Do you have kind of a 2D in your head right now that you're comfortable with?
I think it's sorting its way out. We're about almost 3 weeks into camp, and it's starting to sort its way out. We've had, obviously, Last week Thursday was our last full scrimmage. Good opportunity. We'll meet Wednesday as a staff. As school starts, we won't have practice. We'll meet and talk more about personnel. But it's starting to work itself out. But really, all it's going to be whenever we get that depth chart. That's not the depth chart for the season. That may be the depth chart going into the Furman game. And there's a lot of times a lot of movement in that depth chart from the first game to the second game, based off of production and how guys play. And our guys know that. But yes, depth chart is definitely starting to come together.
Coach, blocking by the wide receivers is so important in the screen game. Do you think that Justin and DK are maybe more ready physically and just in their willingness to do that as compared to most freshmen?
Yeah, I've been pleased with Justin Ross. We did our W drill out here, which is wide receivers versus DBs, tight ends, linebackers, OL, DL, everybody together with a running back. And I think Justin put 2 or 3 guys on the ground. So being physical is not an issue for him. I think like all of our guys is having the proper technique, getting our hands inside the framework, not being on the outside, things like that. But both Justin and DK, they have the right kind of mindset. They're tough kids and physical guys. And I think they've actually added some to our group with the addition of them, so that's been good.
Are there any under the radar guys on offense that you've been pleased with this year that maybe don't get talked about?
It's hard to be under the radar. We've got about 20 people here. The only way they're under the radar is they haven't been out here yet. 15 years ago, Lynn J. Dixon would be under the radar, right? Because we don't have as much coverage and all that. But now, Coach Sweeney does a good job of coming and communicating how our practices look and what guys are doing. I'm very honest with it. I think Lynn J. is probably the first guy that comes to mind just because he's a freshman, coming out of the system where he was in high school from Butler, Georgia. We really didn't know. Very similar to Travis Etienne last year. Really didn't know when he's got out here, and he's made a bunch of plays and done a good job. It'd be hard to say Justin Ross is under the radar with everything that's been going on already. But I think the biggest thing for those guys, is going to be the transition going into game day. There's a big difference between practice and games. So to be able to go out there and get opportunities and produce when you get your opportunity, that's really the next step that we're working towards right now.
All right.
All right. Good.